Welcome back. Bill Bodner, special agent in charge of the Drug Enforcement Administration in the Los Angeles office, joins us now in studio. Thanks for coming in, Bill. We appreciate your time.
Good morning.
Good morning. And the fight against drug trafficking is nonstop, isn't it? In January, your teams intercepted a pretty significant cash exchange of drug proceeds in Fontana. Can you tell us about that particular case and what the investigation revealed?
Absolutely. So we're always investigating methamphetamine, fentanyl trafficking here in the area. But one thing that we don't talk about too often is that those drugs are converted to cash, and that cash has to get back to the sources of supply in Mexico. So many times we'll use our wiretaps, we'll use our informants in our undercover operations to target that cash and get it here before it gets back to Mexico, Colombia, wherever the drugs are from.
Right, and the videos we're showing are the photos of the cash that you intercepted in that particular case. Now, some facts that our viewers may not be aware of include that Los Angeles is actually the preeminent money laundering point for drug proceeds, and it's also considered a haven for drug trafficking organizations. Why is this the case, and what is the DEA doing?
So part of it is just because of our location, you know, our proximity to the Mexican border. But years ago, when I first started, it was simple to take money to Mexico. You just throw it in the trunk of a car, US dollars, drive it across the border. Around 2009, the Mexican government changed the laws in Mexico, and they made it a lot more difficult to get US currency into the financial system. And that's where we saw a boom in trade-based money laundering. And our wholesale district in Los Angeles is ground zero in the United States for trade-based money laundering.
Wow. And then last month, your agents were called out to a home in Riverside. There was an explosion there, and then you found out that it was a meth conversion lab. How is that different from a meth production lab, and what do people who live near those labs need to be concerned about?
Yeah, it's very dangerous. That's the first thing they need to be concerned about. I mean, years ago we saw extraction labs where ephedrine was extracted from pills to make methamphetamine. We saw methamphetamine labs here in the States. That's all moved to Mexico. But what we're seeing now is liquid methamphetamine coming across the border because it's easier to smuggle in some cases. They can put it in the gas tank of a car, they can put it in laundry detergent bottles, anything like that. And once it comes up here, then they have these conversion labs to reconstitute it into its crystallized form. Very dangerous because they're using solvents and explosive chemicals, and as we saw in this case, a pretty massive explosion that blew the garage door right off a house.
Are you finding these labs in any particular area of the greater Los Angeles area?
You know, I would say they're more prevalent in the Inland Empire, in San Bernardino and Riverside, probably just because there's less population density. These things do create a smell, and they do attract a bit of attention. So anywhere you can do it just a little bit out of the public eye, that's going to be a little more desirable.
So for people who live in that area, what can they look for that they could perhaps tip off police? You
know, I would look for just large amounts of chemicals like acetone. You know, if you see someone bringing 15 or 20 half-gallon cans of acetone into a house, that to me is very suspicious, and there's probably some kind of methamphetamine conversion lab going on there. Anytime you see equipment, laboratory equipment or chemicals going into a place, be suspicious.
And call authorities.
Please call authorities. Yeah, it's not worth taking the chance.
No, absolutely. And those explosions can kill.
Absolutely. Yeah. They can kill, and they present a hazmat situation for the neighborhood. Yeah. I mean, there's a house that's really a very dangerous place for anyone to live in now.
All right. Thank you so much, Bill Bodner, for joining us today. We appreciate you keeping us informed.
Thank you.